Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chelsea Six Gaming, and welcome to the Alien Game. I'm just waiting to get my guest on at the moment, so sorry about the delay, folks. Now get my guest on.
Hello.
Steve, I think we're on air.
Okay, cool. You can hear me okay, yeah?
Yeah, no problem. Bit of a teething problem for myself, but it seems that I have to add you to the call, so that's why we went on air. So I think that's it. Tried it, so without further ado, we'll go on with the show. Albeit with a 5 minute, almost 5 minute delay.
Whoops.
Right. So, good evening, finally, and welcome to Desert Island Games. This is episode number 3. Well, actually, it's 5, but it's episode 3 in a new format. Obviously, it's a new weekly format. This is going out on the Record Online Network. I'm your host, John, aka GL76 Gaming, who is Stephen, aka Gashead, London Local Gamer. Or at least I think it is, unless they change the name again.
It is.
Welcome, Stephen, and thanks again for coming on. I know you're
No,
for last week.
look, thanks for having me. Pleasure.
It's there was a bit of team problems last week. Stephen was supposed to be my guest last week, but a couple of things happened. We were told it was 10 o'clock when it was 9 o'clock, and then when we finally got around that problem, there was problems with the stream itself, so we had to get a last minute replacement. That was great, but finally you've made it, so just a bit of background about Steve. What do you want me to call you, Stephen, or would you prefer Gashead?
Oh, mate, I'm totally easy. I mean, Stephen's quite light-hearted, so
Yeah.
Stephen, Steve, Wanker, Tosser, whatever you want to call me, mate. Gashead's fine, Steve's fine, Stephen's fine. I'm totally easy.
We go for Steve. I know
Yeah.
a lot of people like to use the names and things like that. Some people like to hide behind their personality, but you don't. That's cool. Stephen, you're a big Bristol Rovers fan, hence the name Gashead, I believe.
I am indeed, yes.
Bristol Rovers name is the Gas. So I was going to ask you, how do you come to the Rovers? I believe you're a London.
It's a bit complicated, really, because growing up sort of 70s, 80s time, there was only a couple of teams that you would follow, and that being sort of Man United, Everton, Liverpool, you know, a couple more teams. My dad was a massive Everton supporter, so sort of going against the grade, I chose Liverpool, and to this day I'm still a massive Liverpool supporter. Bristol Rovers moved to Bath, Twerton Park, mid 80s, late 80s, possibly. And I remember I remember that sort of like passed me by that they moved to Bath. I didn't know that they were as big in inverted commas as they actually were at the time. I mean, you know, they were playing Division 1 football, or sorry, Division 2 football, as the case may be, so like the Championship. It all came about. I started supporting them when I was in my local pub, and I heard that the FA Cup draw was Liverpool at Twerton Park, and I was like, "Oh, come on, you know, I need to get tickets. I need to go and see Liverpool." The friend I was with at the time said, "Why are you supporting Liverpool? You should be supporting the home team. You should be supporting the local team." And pretty much ever since that moment, I became a Gashead. Just basically on the state of my friends saying I should follow the local team, and that was and then the rest is history. I mean, I've kind of travelled quite a lot with watching their games up and down the country. Went to Cardiff, went to the Millennium Stadium with them in the John Players final, which was awesome. We lost, I think, 4-2 to Doncaster, 2-0 down within the first 5 minutes, came back to 2-2, and then eventually lost in extra time. Same season, we went to Wembley, and beat Shrewsbury 3-1, I believe, and that was probably one of the best experiences that I've had as a Rovers supporter. So there's obviously been a lot more down than have been up. So but that was a massive up.
Yeah, because they've never been up in the top division at all, have they?
No, unfortunately I haven't. I mean, our dearest, in inverted commas, rivals Bristol City have been a long time ago, and Rovers have always been sort of the poorer club in in the city. So it is what it is. I mean, obviously, everybody likes an underdog. And out of the two teams, definitely Rovers were that underdog.
Yeah. But there will be some football-related games in the choices later on, so I think we've got a good excuse to talk about football.
Yeah. Well, we both know a little bit about that, don't we? So.
Yeah. But we won't go too much in football anyway.
It's not a football show, John.
We should do a football show.
Damn right it should be. Yeah, damn right it should be.
Right, I was going to ask you as well about, because I was watching one of your videos, I think it was over Christmas and New Year, and I think it was the Christmas pickup, and you got a Valdiron moth. Was that a Christmas present, or did you pick it up?
So I'm sorry, buddy, can you say that again? You're a little bit echoey still.
I was just saying that Christmas you got a moth, Valdiron moth.
Oh, yeah, I did, yeah, you saw that, yeah?
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you get on. How you built
Mate, look, he's got his. I'll post anybody that follows me on Facebook. I'll post the picture later on tonight or tomorrow. He's got his eyes now, and yeah, he looks he looks more like Morph as he should, rather than a little block. So, but, to be totally honest with you, relatively easy to make. Not that hard, but it was definitely one of the nice little like little presents you get at Christmas, where you open that present and it puts a smile on your face. So yeah, he's quite funky. I like Morph.
Yeah. Morph, for anybody that doesn't know that's listening, for younger listeners or maybe people not in the UK, was a little practicing man that appeared in Tony Hart, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Tony Hart, yeah.
Cape Hart, I think it was called.
Morph, and what was his friend's name? The grey one.
Oh, was it Chaz? I think it was Chaz.
Yes, yeah, it was, yeah. And he was always picking on Morph. Is that right? Do I remember that right?
Yeah, he was always. I think there was a Giddle one as well. I think I might be making this up, but I'm sure they used to fight over a Giddle.
Do you know what? That rings a bell. I couldn't say yay or nay, but that definitely rings a bell. Yeah. But that's quite tricky though, aren't they? Because they're naked. So how did you define it was a girl and a boy?
I think the Giddle had just shaped slightly differently.
Slightly different features.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I might have to look that up. Anyway.
No. It definitely rings a bell. So yeah, I was thinking about.
Maybe I shouldn't look that up.
Where's the edit button?
So, but that's quite retro anyway, that was out in the 80s, so very retro. Anyway, talking about retro, we may as well get on with what the show's about, and it's Desert Island Games. Obviously based on the radio play show Desert Island Disc. On my Integrity System records, you get 6 retro games. So, without further ado, we might as well get on with the first one. And I'm just checking that you can still hear me okay. Yeah.
Say again, John. Sorry.
Are you still are you hearing me okay, or is it echo? Or?
It's a little bit muffled, but it may well be my end. No, go on. We will battle through. I'm kind of getting the gist of what you're saying, and no, it's not your accent. It's generally a muffled thing.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the fact that it might not be coming out clear on air. So, so.
If anybody's watching, maybe they can let us know. So,
if anybody is watching this, they probably aren't. But if they are,
yeah,
please let me know.
Me and you, we're watching.
Because Steve you, I can check my you live in clear. I don't know, but myself, I don't know because I'm not hearing that end of the conversation. But anyway, they're all battle through, and I'm doing these in the order that you've given me them in, so I don't know the any
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
So the first one is Streets of Rage 2 on the Mega Drive, which came out in 1993. It's a beat 'em up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in regards to obviously, it's very easy to pick eight top games, and then you think to yourself, well, maybe that should have been added, maybe this should have been added. But I mean, a game such as Streets of Rage 2, I mean, it's quality, isn't it? I mean, it's definitely one of the best beat 'em ups that the Mega Drive produced at the time. So, and you know, it's got massive playability as well. So, or sorry, replayability. You can definitely play it more than one time. So, yeah. I mean, in regards to the graphics at the time, what it looked like, how it played, and of course, you know, to note the music. I mean, that's just outstanding. So, that would definitely be in my bag.
Before I move on, I think I've just realised why my sound may have been muffled. Is it better?
That's a lot better, yeah.
I'll tell you what it is, and I have to apologise, ladies and gentlemen. When I was doing my show on Friday night, it was a pre-recorded show with Rob Mann from Happy Console Gamer, and when I went to do that show, I discovered I'd lost my mic from my headset. I found it now, obviously, but at the time, what we'd done was I got Michael to do the call, and I jumped on the iPad so that they could hear me loud and clear. But when I was working that out, I had changed the speaker to my inbuilt speaker, so I've just realised I hadn't changed it back to the USB mic, so I think I've solved the problem.
well, look, mate, it's a lot clearer now anyway, so it's sorted. It's sorted.
Honestly, since I started doing this, I mean, I love doing it, but it's always been something going wrong down the line.
No, do you know what? It takes time to perfect it. I mean, you know, looking back on sort of like the earlier episodes, you know, you've definitely sort of perfected a lot of other things. So, no, it's a very entertaining show. And I've got to say as well, I listened to the Rob Mann interview in my car on my way to work and my way home. Very entertaining. And what a genuinely nice sounding chap he is.
He really is, and he said it at the end of the show. And I'll say it again. He said to myself and Michael, "We're so easy to talk to," and I would say exactly the same to him. He was a very easy guy to talk to.
Yeah, completely. I mean, you know, there was moments where you know, as a one-on-one conversation, certainly when you're not facing each other, it's very hard when you sort of have something to say and you kind of cut somebody short. He was very if you would say something, he would be very much like, well, no, sorry, you know, you go. Whereas obviously, kind of you would imagine the bigger channels, you know, would lose a little bit like that. As well, they've asked me to come on the show, and I'm going to talk, and this little man can shut up and listen.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that at all. I mean,
absolutely.
So I've spoken to him a little bit on Facebook, but what a nice guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if anybody's not listened to this, then I highly recommend you go listen to it. Just don't know my bits, just listen to him. And it was amazing because he was a good guest to have because it made it easier for me because all I would do is maybe ask a question, then I just kind of let him talk.
Yeah,
I could sit back and listen.
and now you've got me.
Yeah, no, you're the
bit of a letdown.
No. Yeah, I'm sure you're pretty much the same anyway. Anyway, we're still on Streets of Rage 2. I was going to ask you about that. Was there a reason why you picked Streets of Rage 2 rather than Streets of Rage, the first game?
I think, well, Streets of Rage 2 over the Streets of Rage 1, for me, is the music. You know, it just sticks you. The atmosphere of Streets of Rage 2. Not saying Streets of Rage 1 is a inferior game, because it isn't. You know, I just feel the advances that obviously the Mega Drive, and I'm pretty much talking about the Mega Drive and not the arcade setups. The actual advances in the system from them producing Streets of Rage 1 and then bringing out Streets of Rage 2, I feel that it's noticeable.
Yeah, and it also got a release, as you say, on the Master System and the Game Gear, and I think it came out on Xbox Live latterly. Although I'm not sure on this, but I think it may have been pulled from Xbox Live. I'm not sure.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think I'm not definite on that, but the last time I went through looking at old games and things on Xbox Live, I certainly didn't see it on there. But maybe it's just I wasn't looking properly, but I'm sure I didn't see it.
But perhaps it wasn't selling, and maybe they withdrew it to save sort of a couple of megabytes space on their servers. Maybe it could be a countless number of things, couldn't it? I can't see them dropping it because of the game.
Yeah.
It would definitely sell in my eyes. So
there has definitely been games that have been pulled from Xbox Live in the past, because I know that Outrun got pulled because they lost the license for Ferrari. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. So tell me, if I'd have downloaded Outrun before it was pulled, obviously sorry, actually I don't know. On Xbox Live,
yeah,
is it the same as PlayStation Live or PlayStation Network, where you can only play the PlayStation Live games when you've got your PlayStation Live account active?
No, not at all. I mean, my Xbox Live account is not active at the moment, and I'm still able to play. I've actually still got Outrun. I downloaded it before it was pulled, so I'm still able to play that.
Yeah, because with PlayStation Network, if you miss a payment or you cancel it, then it's basically all the games that you've downloaded. Actually, I'm talking crap because I paid for Streets of Rage 2, so perhaps that's different. The ones that you can download for free, obviously, are only active when you've got your PlayStation Network account active. If that makes sense.
Yes. I'm not too sure about the PlayStation, although I do have it. I've never really noticed.
Yeah.
Right. I've just had Michael confirm that everything sounds okay on the stream, so that's set my mind at ease.
Good.
Did you know that Streets of Rage 2 is actually known as Bare Knuckle 2, the Requiem of the Deadly Battle in Japan?
I will answer that question with yes, I did. I did. I did know that. I'm not widely known as my knowledge on games, but that's something I did know. Yeah.
Me neither. I actually found that out on doing my research this evening before the show.
Oh, well done. Well done. Mate, I wish I'd done some research before I came on, but never mind.
That actually, out of all the shows I've done, yours is probably the one I've had to done the least research on, because there's a lot of games in here that I would know, and actually, you've picked two that I've picked myself.
Yeah, I have indeed.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll move on to the next one. I have played this one myself. It's Fantasy Zone on the Master System.
What a game! Back in when was it?
Well, I've got it. I've got it as released in 1986.
Okay. So mid 80s there.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, for me, a lot of the games are nostalgia reasons. Sorry, my dog's just walked into my room. I pretty much borrowed a friend of mine's Master System. He was slightly older, so obviously he had a bit of disposable income. And he had what games did he have? He had Alec Kidd's Miracle Land, I think it was.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah. Rocky, which even though it's a shocking game and bloody difficult, because it was a Rocky title, I loved it. and he had World Soccer, which again, I've never really, or at that point, never really played a football game on a console in my own bedroom on my own telly, barring sort of like, the Commodore 64 and 16 and everything else I was playing with at the time, and Fantasy Zone. And Fantasy Zone for me, just put again, without going into too much, it looked great, it sounded great. For me, it was just very cutesy, very cute, and you very much pick up and play. The music again, I've got it on my favourites list on my YouTube. So yeah, for me, I just love the format of it, and up until that point, I think most shooters or scrollless shooters, you could only fly forwards, and you can fly forwards, fly back a little bit or backwards. But with this game, you could change views completely, so you could be walking up the street that way. If you fancied it, you could just turn around and walk the other way. So not that that's got any relevance to anything. I just liked that thing really.
Yeah. I've actually played that game for the first time in the summer last year, 2013,
Right, okay.
on the Game Gear, because I bought myself a Sega Game Gear, sorry, and that was one of the games that came with it, and I hadn't really heard of it, to be honest, but I stuck it in just to try it out, and I must say, one of the first things that struck me was the music, because I thought the music was quite funky.
Yeah, no, completely. So I definitely think there was a sequel on the Master System. And there is a version on the Mega Drive as well, so which I have somewhere, I believe. If not, I need to get it. But just one of those games that you put in bad day at work or stressful day or whatever, and it just puts a smile on your face, and it's a real pick up and play game as well.
Cool. You can actually, if you want to play it, if anybody's not played it and they want to play it, you can actually pick it up on the Wii Virtual Console.
Okay, I'm having that later then.
Sorry?
I'm having that later. That's on the Wii U, yeah?
The Wii U, yeah, Virtual Console. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I was going to just ask, you mentioned borrowing your, did you mention borrowing your friend's
Yes.
That leads me to my next question, which is going to be, what is your history of consoles? What was your first console yourself?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, the first console that I played was probably a NES. Same friends, a little bit older, so we had the money to buy these consoles that us kids were sort of like dreaming of and everything. So. But the first console that I owned was a Master System, and solely for two games and two games only at that point, and that was Rocky, which I think we've established as a shit game, but it's got the title, and World Soccer. And again, for anybody who hasn't played World Soccer, it's just a joyous little game,
Yeah, I was going. Yeah, Rocky. Actually, for the life of me, I can't remember the guy's name. I wish I could remember, but I just subscribed to a guy a few weeks ago. I think I seen Harry Yak commenting on some of his stuff, and one of his videos that he had up that I watched was a Rocky video. Is that game you're talking about? And it's quite good the way he did it, because he did a kind of footage of himself, like kidding on his Rocky and all that, and then it showed you playing a game. He said this game is absolutely crap, but it's very nostalgic.
The Angry Video Game Nerd one as well, didn't he? And I think again he established that it's shit, but it's called Rocky, and you fight as somebody in sort of American style shorts, and that's just enough. That's just enough to sort of sway the game. So
yeah. Okay, well that was your second choice, and the third one is one I know very well myself because I picked it, and it's Championship Manager '93.
Yeah, yeah. Can't really say too much about it. It's a football management game, and up until that point, we had to make do with games like was it Match of the Day?
Match of the Day, Tracksuit Manager, I think was what I played on the Commodore.
Yeah, Tracksuit Manager, Premier Manager. Well, I actually almost made it in there. That was another cracker.
Yeah, I'd have played Premier Manager a lot. I mean, I've played Premier Manager 1, 2, and 3, and they were good at the time. But I think when Championship Manager '93 came along, it just totally it was a game changer.
Yeah. For me as well, it was so well done. You could literally spend hours at the PC, and it goes just like that. I mean, it is a football manager game, so anybody not interested in football management games, it's a dead loss. But do you watch Blue Tonic's Championship Manager, where he basically changed all the names of the players and put YouTubers' names on there?
I did, yeah, and I asked him in it series I want to be in it.
Yeah, likewise. I've asked him twice. He's basically replied saying like, can I have your details? I think I replied back saying what sort of details you want. Presumably he's talking about sort of age and where I want to play and everything. I don't think I ever bothered or I don't think I got around to not bothered. That sounds wrong, but I don't think I got around to actually sending him the details. So when he recently just started redoing it, I'm kicking myself because I really want to be in that team. I want to be fighting for space. But it's a complete male thing, isn't it? It's a real man thing to sort of like do. And going back to games like Championship Manager and Premier Manager and the sort of those guys, they were very simple. They were very which obviously advancements are great, but it was real. You pick the team, you buy the players, you play the game. I do feel the Football Managers 2014 and 2013 have kind of got a bit too much.
I agree.
Where I think 2014, a player's girlfriend can have a say on whether he's happy or not. I mean, what?
Oh, wait, that's ridiculous.
How can you sort of counteract that when you're trying to build a team? And see, this is how much it gets to me. You see, this is how much I treat it like real life. But back there it was and again you kind of pick a lower team and build them up. Yeah. I was always Bristol Rovers naturally, and the good thing about the olden Football Manager games was that you could pretty much, if you've got the money, you can buy the players. Yeah. Nowadays it's a case of like you ain't getting any players. You have to pick from the conference or your own league if you're lucky, which is realistic. Of course it is. But it ain't fun when you need a striker and no fucking wants to come to you. So, yeah.
So, I mean, I think nowadays they have to decide whether it's a football management game or a football chairman game, because I think some of the things that you have to do in these games nowadays are like, it's not things that a football manager would deal with.
No, well, you've got options. You've got options in the Football Manager games that you can sort of delegate things to your assistant manager and your coaches and have the chairman buy and sell players for you. It's there's a lot of that yes, if you go through the right options and everything, you can kind of customize it so you are just picking the team and letting the players play. But I just feel the layout is too busy on the eyes.
Yeah.
As such.
Yeah. I mean, in the last few years, I've not really played the PC version solidly since, I would say, since about 08, 09 versions. In the last few years, I've been playing the PSP version and also the iPad version, and to me, they're so much better because they're simpler. It's like going back a step. It's like going back to Championship Manager 0102 kind of era. It's just perfect, a perfect amount. It's not too much, but not too little.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. Fully agree.
The latest one, actually, funny you should mention Blue Tonic's team. It's something I've been mulling over for the last couple of weeks. I got Football Manager. Let's try it again. I got Football Manager 2014 handheld recently for the iPad, and it's got a new feature in it where you can create your own team from scratch. You basically create the team name, create all the players yourself, the club colours and all the rest of it, and put your team into whatever league you want. So I'm thinking about doing a series, maybe doing a Retro Unlim team.
Yeah, do it, definitely. I know a number of us would definitely be interested in that.
The only thing that's stopped me from doing it at the moment is deciding how I'm going to do it, because iPad, I've not got a video recorder on the iPad. So I've got one of two options. The first option would be to take lots of screenshots and kind of edit it into a video file.
Good.
That
Good
way.
Yeah,
but it's a bit much. The second option is the second option is I don't know if you've seen I done a video a few weeks ago. It was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on the iPad. And I was just showing a bit of footage. So I could do it that way. I could do it because I've got a little tripod for my iPad or for my iPhone. But the problem with that is it's not that good quality. So.
Do you know that when you I'll send you a link after this, but if you wire your iPad up to your PC, you can actually display your screen on the PC, and obviously you can use I can't remember what it's called, capture something, and record it off the screen. That's where you know, when people upload things like Clash of Clans and everything up online, that's how they sort of capture their images. So there is a simple way to do it, definitely.
Well, I mean, if you send me that link, that would be brilliant, and I'll definitely look into that, because it's definitely something I want to do, but I don't want to do it in a crappy quality because it'll take away from the.
No, it would taking the screenshot. I mean, that yes, it would work, and you know, it would look pretty good. But you imagine editing that together, that is just a hair of work.
I've done it once before. I done it back in the day. I mean, I've had my YouTube channel for 2 years in May, and back before I started speaking on videos and getting involved in the community and things like that, I done a little Football Manager iPad video, and I done loads of screenshots, and it just took for a 5-minute video, it probably took about 4 hours to make it. You know, so that's, if I can work that out, I'll definitely look into doing that. And get it organised. So back to Championship Manager 93. We've got kind of went on a tangent onto other things there, but of course that was brought out by Domark, and it was two brothers, Paul and Oliver Collier.
That's right.
Who were Everton fans, and it originally came out for the Amiga and PC. So which version did you have? Was it
it's PC. I mean, pretty much the PC that we had at home. It was my mum's, and I was lucky that it was running the Championship Manager game. So all your games that were coming out, like I can't even mention the name, Elite, that came out on the PC. My mum's PC wouldn't play that. It was very much the documents and various different things. You know, even back then the internet wasn't that rife, was it? So I mean, I was bloody lucky. It was playing a football management game. So
I had it for the Amiga. That's actually probably the reason I bought my Amiga, because actually I originally had an Atari ST that I got given it by somebody. I can't remember who, but I think the reason I was given it was because it wasn't working. So I was always intending on getting this Atari ST to work. So I was getting all excited. I bought Atari magazines and I seen this review. It was Championship Manager 93, and I thought I was also got to get it. But of course, I never got my Atari ST to ever work.
Have you still got it? Have you still got the ST?
No, I mean that's long gone. That was back in my parents' house. So I think that I don't know anybody that would be able to fix it at the time, and I didn't really have the foresight to think, oh, I'll keep that just in case one day.
Yeah, no, cool.
So I think I must have chucked it.
Same.
Yeah, so the next year, I think it was, maybe it wasn't even as much as next year, maybe later on that year, I went to college and I got a grant, so I thought I'm going to buy an Amiga and get this game that I've been wanting for so long. So
300 quid Championship Manager.
Yeah, but then that unlocked a lot of other classic Amiga games for me. So
yeah. The Amiga in general. I mean, I think I owned a Amiga 500, and again, all that I played on it was manager games. That was it.
Yeah, same here.
But you know, but the games available for Amiga. I mean, you just have to watch Monkey Spazz's Monkey Spaz 5000's old uploads before he started, really doing the Spectrum games.
Yeah.
Some of those games, I mean, they really sort of stand up to the consoles, and I do actually regret when I had my Amiga 500. I do regret not giving it a bit more love.
Absolutely.
Just for Football Manager games.
I gave mine away to my auntie. Because I'd got a PC. Obviously, I wasn't really thinking about future retro gaming, so I didn't think about hanging on to it, so I gave it away. I used to have this formation for Championship Manager 93, and it was what a treat. I can't remember. I think it was a modified 4-3-3. I think I had 4 at the back, but one of the players was a sweeper.
Okay.
And then I had I think it was three across the middle. No winners, just 3 across the middle. I think the guy in the middle was had his arrow pointing back the way, so he was a kind of defensive midfielder. And then there was 2 up front with one supporting player, kind of attacking midfielder. And you played direct style, and it seemed to work every time. It was a genius. I didn't make it up myself. I read it in a magazine. it was awesome.
Here's one for you, John, and don't lie because I'll know. Did you ever add another player on another team that you were playing and move their formation all to the side? So you would just basically score 12-0 or 24-2 or something like that. Did you ever do that?
Oh, you mean that? Or you mean like do a 2-player game?
Yeah, cheated basically.
Do you know? Honestly, I swear I've never done that. Never done it.
John.
Telling you.
It must have been me then.
One thing, no, I done something very, very similar though. I would say for example, I picked Man United as my team. I would maybe pick Arsenal, Liverpool, whoever, as my second team, and then I would sell other players. And then I would resign as the manager of that club. Yeah. Things like that. Especially if it was getting towards the end of the season and they were your main challengers. Yeah.
This is the fun that you're unable to have in the modern days, or in the modern games, because you just can't do that. You just can't do. I mean, basically, what you can do now is take charge of Manchester City and have sort of a lesser team, and basically buy one of the youth players, the 16-year-old youth players, for 40, 60 million. You suddenly become a club that's deep in debt to extremely rich. So, but you've still got the problem with getting the best players there. So, kind of just a little bit. So, got all this money in the bank, but you can't spend it.
Yeah.
And even if you do bring players down to you, the player's girlfriend gets so fed up because they're playing for a crap team, that they get all demoralised and end up like disrupting the team for you. So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, they've cropped onto us as crooks in the game. So
taking the fun out of it.
yeah.
Did you ever have the Championship Manager Italia version?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Basically, I bought Championship Manager '93 from. It was '93, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Yeah.
90, yeah, it was '93. From MVT, Music and Video Club. If anybody remembers that.
Vaguely.
No, it might have just been a an English thing, but this Music and Video Club used to have the full price at the top, say $29.95 or $29.99, and then it would discount every single game,
right?
Whether that be $28.99 or $26.99 or whatever, but you could see that you were getting it discounted. So it was a great store. It was a great store. But anyway, off tangent. It was basically attached. So I was 93 with the Italia on the back. So obviously I was kind of late to the party that they bought out at the same time that I purchased it. So yeah, no, it was supposed to go. To be honest, I never played it. Never played it. So I was never really into Italian football, if I'm honest with you. So.
I invested a lot of time in both of them. I did invest a lot of time in the Italian one because I think at the time Channel 4 had just started doing Italian football.
Yeah,
so it was kind of
last day, wasn't it?
Yeah. I remember buying the following season's data update for Championship Manager '94, and it was in the big boxes you got back in the day.
Yeah.
And I opened it up, and there was a free book inside it. Fever Pitch by Nick Hornby was inside the box.
Oh, it was all.
Yeah,
It's a good game as well. Good book as well.
Yeah, I read it. It's a really terrific book. It's another thing you don't get these days. Nice gifts like that are free. Not like, you can buy an Ultimate Edition, but you need to pay £120 for it. This was actually the normal price game with a book inside it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I miss those big boxes, big boxed games.
They were good, and some of the artwork was really good, but how impractical for a collection. The big boxes, the small boxes, the DVD cases, and so on. So it's just, I like things very uniformed and very sort of. There's a place for everything. If it doesn't fit, then I'm struggling.
Yeah, I suppose that's a point. Yeah, I liked it. I'm being nostalgic now, but I just remember those big boxes fondly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we could probably talk about Championship Manager all night, so I think we better move on before we do that. Yeah. Sorry, there's any non-football fans and non-football manager fans, but that is Steven's show, so what can you do? The next game, thankfully, we're getting away from football. The next game, I don't know if you even remember these, but I'll remind you anyway. The next game is Dizzy on Spectrum.
Yeah, like Dizzy is a strange one. When I was a kid, I always wanted a Spectrum because everybody that I knew at school, friends at home, had a Spectrum, either a 48K or 128K one. And I remember Mum and Dad, bless them, for Christmas buying us a computer because they knew that me and my sisters wanted a computer for Christmas. Yeah. They bought us a Commodore 16.
Oh.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, there are still some very good games on there, which one might have made it into my top 8 actually, but it never. It was it was a Christmas day not to be forgotten. I just remember the disappointment on my face, and I think even to this day, I haven't mentioned anything because that's just nasty. But come on, a Spectrum or Commodore 16.
Yeah, I've got something similar. Although now that you've told me that, mine doesn't seem quite as bad as yours. But it's still, I was same boat as you. I wanted a Spectrum or a Commodore, mid 80s, and I got for Christmas an Atari 65 XE, which is like It's basically like an 8-bit version of the Atari ST.
Oh, bless.
But don't get me wrong, again, like yourself, there was some really good games on it.
Yeah.
And it was my first computer, so I'll always remember it fondly. But it's not the one I was wanting, so I was going to, oh, yay!
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, the actual story behind that is that all my friends had a Spectrum, and my best friend Stuart had a Spectrum, and I used to go around his house all the time because he had Dizzy, or Fantasy Zone Dizzy. I think that's the one he played, and he was very good at it. But he would never let me have a go on it. Not at spite, just because he would be like, "Oh, watch this, I'm really, really far, And obviously, you know, with the Spectrum games, you got the loading time, so I'm sure he didn't want to turn it off and let me have a go. But it was pretty much a couple of years later, I got Dizzy on the Mega Drive, or a good couple of years later on Dizzy on the Mega Drive. Again, you know, I'm not going to go into sort of great detail on how fantastic the game and everything is. I just like the fact that you're rolling around Yoketown or whatever it's called, or whatever the little village was, as an egg. I mean, how amusing is that? You know, literally you could be anything, yet you're this egg. That just sells it for me. So I'm John. I'm very simple. I'm a very simple person.
Like myself.
Yeah, simple things amuse me.
It's like an arcade adventure game, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It's yeah. I mean, there was puzzles that you had to complete, but it was pretty much sort of get to the end of that level and sort of. Do you know what? I can't even remember, John. I mean, you know, the reason that I put this down as one of my 8 to take on a desert island, because I actually wanted to play it.
That's a good reason, eh?
Yeah, no, of course it is. And if you're sat on a desert island, you're going to have time to play these games. So
exactly.
That was pretty much why I put it down. And the fact, I mean, obviously it's quite well known to be a good game, or good franchise. So I think it's Codemasters, isn't it? So
it's Codemasters. Yeah, I've got that noted down. The first one came out in 1987.
Really, Jesus.
Yeah. It spawned lots and lots of sequels. The likes of Treasure Island Dizzy, Fantasy Dizzy.
Yeah.
I think the series ran on to 1992.
That must have been the Mega Drive one then. What year is the Mega Drive one? Have you got that down there?
No, I did have. I didn't think it was relevant at the time. I don't research.
No. Until your guest asked it, and it's relevant. So it's more a game that I never really got a chance to play properly when I was younger, and I would just like to revisit it really.
Yeah, that's a good point. Of bringing games on to your desert island that you've not really played a lot of, because I didn't really, when I done my 8, I didn't even think about taking on ones that I've not played so much. I just want my favourite games.
Great game, that's a great game. Yeah, it's the thing, and with the Disney sort of games, I'm pretty sure that's a game that you can revisit as well. So if you are sat on a desert island, then you do want games that you can play more than once, I can imagine. So.
And I couldn't swear on this, but I'm sure that magazine I was talking about earlier on, that had ST magazine, where I seen the review of Championship Manager 93. I'm convinced that Dizzy was in the front cover of that magazine. It was on
the front cover of a lot of magazines, because like you said, there was a lot of sequels and a lot of I even think if you remember back in I think it was the Spectrum days where you used to get the magazines and they used to have coding and you could enter Spectrum. I'm pretty sure there was something to do with Dizzy in one of those magazines as well. Not a full game, just maybe an image or something like that. So, but yeah, he must have been a bit of a poster boy for Spectrum, or a poster boy in the 80s, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, if Codemasters had stuck it out with him, he could have been as big as Sonic or Mario.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing, isn't it? It's a case that he was. Oh my God! I was going to say icon. That's not the right word, is it? But he's something that you would see and you would relate to.
Yeah.
You know, Spectrum, for example, or all that kind of era. So yeah, he could have made it as big as Sonic. He just wasn't that fast, was he?
Yeah. I must go back and play some Dizzy games as well. I'll add it to my ever-growing list of games I have to play. What else can we say about Dizzy? Yeah, I've got here that it came out also, well, the original one I'm talking about came out also for Commodore 64 and Amstrad as well.
Yeah.
As a Spectrum. So if you had one of those machines back in the day, you'd probably played it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we'll move on to the next one. And this one got me scratching my head because I have to confess I've never heard of it in my life. But so it's a very very interesting choice and a very interesting platform that it's on. So the game is, and it's on the BBC Micro.
Yeah. You know, this is a complete nostalgia thing. Taking it onto a desert island with me, possibly not a great idea. However, it definitely brings me back to my youth. I mean, back in school, it's not like it is these days where you've got a computer at every desk. We had a BBC Micro on a little trolley, and it would basically do the rounds from classroom to classroom.
Same as us.
And you would get sort of I think it was 25 minutes. And that's quite precise. But I just remember when it used to turn up, you used to have to put the floppy disks in, and they weren't the small floppy disks that
giant.
I remember they were giant.
Yeah.
They were a big ass one. And I think we had Repton, and we had Chucky Egg, and it was always a toss up between the two. And I think with the copy of Chucky Egg that the school had, it was broken, and the actual disc or the tape inside was all screwed up and damaged.
Oh.
So the only game you could play was Repton. The only game, and it's very much it's hard to explain, but it's if anybody remembers the game Rockman, where you're kind of in a maze and there's loads of soil around you, and you've got to collect the gems.
Right.
Only with Repton, you had to collect. I think you had to. My God, hold on.
I've got it here actually. If it will help you out, it says here,
It was
Repton
X, wasn't it?
is a anthropomorphic lizard who walks around an underground maze in a quest to find all the diamonds.
No, that is it then, diamonds.
Yeah.
But there was eggs where if you would get one to fall, an egg to fall, it would crack and a dinosaur would appear. So and you know, again, it's a dinosaur for the BBC, so it's not you can. It doesn't look like a dinosaur. It just looks like a little sprite running after you. But it was really fun. And again, it's probably because I was a kid. We get 25 minutes away from class or 25 minutes away from learning, and we can just play a game for 25 minutes. And that's why it's come to Desert Island with me.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you must be the same age as myself, or roughly the same age, because I remember exactly the same. We had a BBC Micro in the school, but it was always just pushed from classroom to classroom, you know, half an hour each.
I'm 24 plus 3 plus 10. So for anybody who's not very good at maths,
yeah, 37.
You're not going to find out my age, but for anybody who's got half a brain, you can work out. So,
well, I'm going to be 38 next month, so yeah.
Ironically, so I will be 21 myself in April. So we are very similar in age, yes.
Yeah, I must just be slightly older.
by 2 months.
Yes.
April, my birth year is, the birth month.
Yes, I think my first what's the word I'm looking for? First exposure, I suppose. I don't know if that's the right word. My first exposure to a computer as a kid would have been in primary 7, and they pushed this BBC Micro into our room.
Yeah.
And by the time we got to high school, they actually had started doing computer classes. So I pretty much got brought up with a BBC Micro. I never had one, but I always used one in school, and we'd done programming on it and various bits and bobs.
We did have a room, and it literally was a 6x4 room, and it had a ZX81 in, and again, there was a various number of games on there, but the one that reminds me of the school and sort of just like sticks in my mind is Frogger, and that was class. But again, that was, you get 25 minutes in that room. Yeah. You're watching it load for sort of 10 minutes of that, so you would go for the Retron option where it was stick a disc in and play it. So
yeah, I think when I got to maybe 4th or 4th year, they started introducing very early PCs. I do remember the school had one of those little Apple Macs. They're the old style.
Yeah.
And we had a computer called an Imbus. Don't know what that means anything to anybody, but it was a kind of very, very early Windows PC. So that was what we moved on from after the BBC Micro.
Do you know what? I never had that. Never had. I'm just trying to think. No, I mean, my senior school, we never had PCs at all, actually, if I remember rightly, for anything. Did we do IT? Yeah, we've done IT, but IT back in the day, IT back then when was basically circuit boards, and you would have to put clips in and make the light bulb light up and things like that. It wasn't, IT wasn't like, okay, well, there's a spreadsheet, do us a document on that. It was very more technologically based, where it was like open up the TV and work on the circuit board at the back. That was our IT.
Yeah, we did that as well. I think it was just called electronics class.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't my school. Obviously, Scotland might be a bit different. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that bit more advanced by the sounds of it. Full Macs and God knows what. What are you like?
See, people think Scotland's backwards, but actually it's ahead of its time.
In my words, just in my school, my backwards school. No, it wasn't a backwards school. I went to a very, 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 very sensible school.
I don't doubt it for a minute. So that game came out in 1985, and I was going to say, I don't know if you're aware, but it actually got some releases in more modern consoles. There was versions for PSP and Game Boy Advance, believe it or not.
Yeah, you have just put a massive smile on the PSP.
Yeah.
So, I'm having that. I'm
not sure if it's that probably isn't it. I was going to say I'm not sure you can download it on PS Vita, but I'm sure you can buy I'm sure you can get the discs, the UMDs on eBay or something like that.
Yeah. It's a very basic game. It's a very simple base. Basically collect the crystals, like you said. But it's more thinking about it, more planning your route so you don't get stuck and so on. Like I said, for everybody that knows Rockman, do you know Rockman? Have you heard of Rockman?
I'm not, I'm afraid, no.
Yeah, mate. Me being backward then, but what's the other games? There must be other games like that. But if anybody sort of like comes across Retron, it's definitely worth a little go. And if it is out for the PSP or the sort of old generation handhelds, then definitely give it a go. Definitely.
Just before we move on to the next one, another fact that I found out from my research is apparently this game was made by a 15-year-old Briton who goes by the name of Tim Taylor. So I don't know whether the game's basic or not. It's still quite impressive, I suppose. Like, it was a 15-year-old boy that designed it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But where is Tim Taylor now? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Sorry, where is he?
Where is Tim Taylor now? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Oh, that's. Do you know? I should have looked that up. I should have looked up Tim Taylor to see where it was.
Yeah, he should have. He's amazing. He's probably. How old would he be? He would be.
It's 15 in 1985. So.
Yeah, he's
the same age as my brother. My brother was born in 1970, so my brother will be 44 this year.
Yeah.
So still a young guy.
Tim Taylor. Eh?
It's Tyler.
Oh, Tyler.
Yeah, as in Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's us done.
Thank you.
5 for the games. We're on to number 6 and back into familiar territory for myself because it's yet another one that I picked. And this one is GTA Vice City.
Come on. How can you not love GTA Vice City? I mean, it's the coolest game ever. It's possibly dated a little bit now.
Yeah.
Everything that's coming out, but yeah, just brilliant game.
Still a game that I go back to quite often, just to mess about and as much as anything else, just to listen to the music.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm big, as you probably sort of gathered from what I'm saying. I'm big into soundtracks.
Yeah.
I'm big into game soundtrack, movie soundtracks, everything like that. For me, it's just so atmospheric and so it puts you in the mood for whatever level, whatever game you're playing, and Grand Theft Auto Vice City does that better than any other game that I know. Running around Vice City as kind of a Scarface sort of character, with 80s music blowing in your ear, then for me you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong.
That's what I like about the GTA series in general. All their kind of protagonists are actually so different when you think about it. The first, discount the first 2 because they're just a character, but the third one was a kind of mysterious character, didn't speak.
Never played the third one. Never played it at all. I did have the box set, so I had Vice City and that one. But for me, it was all about Vice City. It was just I never. And then you know when you play one game, and it's so bloody good that the first one you pop it in, you have a look at it, and it's like nah. It looks the same, it sort of feels the same, but it's not. So I'm going to go back there. That's it.
Yeah, I must admit, thankfully I played Grand Theft Auto 3 before Vice City, otherwise I probably would have had the same problem, because going back to Grand Theft Auto 3, it's not even so much the gameplay, it's just, again, it's the music. There's not really any big tracks in the Grand Theft Auto 3, so it's just kind of generic tracks, and then...
that was a big thing with Vice City, wasn't it? That they brought out a CD album, and I think it had 6 discs on it, which I can't remember that many songs being on there. But maybe that was because I was only tuned into one station that played. I can't even remember the songs.
Well, I've actually taken a note of some of them because I know that the music is quite important in this game. And I mean, I've only taken a note of a few of them, but when I was looking through the list, there is a lot. There's a lot of stuff on it that you forget about. So, the main ones I've noted are Michael Jackson, Ozzy Osbourne. I'm picking out the rock tracks here because I'm a rock fan.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Motley Crue were in it.
Yeah.
NXS. Or as my brother used to call them, Inks.
Inks. Don't tell her she's wrong, because that's what it says. Inks.
Blondie.
Yeah.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, even Iron Maiden were in it.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was Run to the Hills, if I remember correctly.
I need to revisit it because that is on my iPad. So, and I hope they haven't scaled anything down on the iPad version because I'll be upset. But yeah, I need to give that a go, definitely.
Yeah, I've got the iPad version as well. I've not played it that much. I've been playing San Andreas quite a lot, and I must say they do have the music in it, but I don't think it's all there. So I would imagine
it's a different style of music, exactly. That's not really my cup of tea. That San Andreas for me, the good things or the great things that they introduced was things like working out and eating properly or not eating properly, and just things like that just really make a game for me. The little things, and again, I will say it, I'm very simple when it comes to games.
Yeah.
Just those little things really, really make it for me.
Well, Sorry. That almost added a bit of simulation to it, really, didn't it? All these kind of put on weight, lose weight, get a haircut. It was almost like The Sims.
Yeah.
But better.
A lot better.
Yeah.
And with Blondie. And I am Maiden.
Yeah. Yeah. What about? Well, before I ask that, I'm going to assume would it be the PS2 version that you had?
Yeah. PS2. PS2.
Because it did obviously come out for Xbox and PC as well.
The box set I had was for the Xbox.
Right.
It was a silver one. It was. I'm sure you've probably seen it. But
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Silver box set, but when Vice City first came out. I'm going to sound like a real naughty boy now, but I had a hard drive in my PlayStation 2, and I could rent the game and copy it on hard drive.
So there was a bit of interference in the stream here.
So basically, I could play Vice City. That's what my point was.
Yeah. What about Vice City Stories on the PSP? Then it came out to PS2. Did you ever play that?
Never played it. I had it on the PSP. Never played it on the PSP. It was one of those games that I bought. I paid 30 quid for.
Yeah.
I just never played it, and then traded it in for 12 quid on another game. So I would definitely like to give it a go at some point.
Do you say you've not got it anymore?
No.
Have you got a PSP?
Do you know what? It's one of the consoles that I really, really want to collect for.
Yeah.
I haven't got one, and I'm kind of hedging my bets to find one at a car boot sale at a reasonable price. But 2013 it just didn't happen, so I'm hoping 2014 will kickstart the PSP dream because there's so many great games on the PSP.
Yeah. I bought a PSP late last year. I had a PSP originally, but I traded it in. I didn't really see a use for it anymore, and I ended up getting a PS Vita. But I'm starting to get nostalgia for PSP again, so I went and bought one last year, and it came with a copy of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Now I've already got it on PS Vita. Then you download the PSP games on PS Vita, and I've also got it on PS2, so I actually need it. So I was going to say, if you had a PSP, I could have sent it to you.
We will speak after the podcast. No, I know. I do need to get a PSP.
It's not boxed. It's just a loose but those UMD. But if you had a PSP, I'd certainly send it to you. I can send it to you anyway if you like. Then you get a PSP, then you've got it.
Very kind. Very kind.
I also got the Sega Mega Drive collection loose as well, and again I've got that downloaded on PS Vita, so that's
fantastic.
Two that I don't need.
My collection is growing as we speak. The Mega Drive one, is that the same as the PlayStation 3 version? Is it got all those games on it?
I think the PS3 version might have a couple of different games on it.
Yeah.
But it's very, very similar, yeah. I've been playing it a lot in the last week because I've been trying to beat my Sonic 2 score.
Do not talk to me about Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're both in that boat, aren't we? So
we got exactly the same score.
Have you seen Rich King Retro's time today?
No, I've not seen it.
He done it in 25 seconds, John.
Oh, this smart arse.
Yeah, clever clogs. So when I see him next, he's going to get a little slap. So at 25 seconds, how the hell did he do that?
Do you know
what's his video? He basically jumps on something which takes him half the screen, and I'm just looking at it thinking, no, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. So, but good on him. Anyway, that's Sonic 2.
I've tried everything. I've tried going up the top. I just can't seem to hit that little bit because I think Monkey Spaz hit it as well. But I think the problem Monkey Spaz has towards the end is he hit something at the end and it bounced him back and he just lost a couple of seconds.
He only had 27, 29 seconds. So that was enough to win the right, whatever that. Yeah, no, that's it. Whatever that may be. So.
Well, no doubt we'll have a Monkey Spaz unboxing of the prize in weeks to come.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah, I just no matter how much I tried, I just can't get past 27 seconds.
Nah.
So sod it. That's what I say.
Yeah, we're stuck on 37 seconds. That's it.
What can I say about Grand Theft Auto Vice City? Did you ever complete it?
No, sadly no. It is probably the furthest that I got in a Grand Theft Auto game. I got to helicopter missions,
right?
Where you would have to destroy. It was basically a building being put up, and you'd have to destroy some bombs to take away the scaffolding so the building fell down. I think. Ring a bell?
I think that's an early mission. Is that not the remote controlled helicopter? And you get into you go into the kind of RC van, and when you get to it,
is that early on? Is it?
That's probably about 10 missions in, I think.
I got further than that.
Yeah, that's good to see.
But that will obviously stick to my mind. I can.
Because that was an Avery Carrington mission.
Okay.
Who was voiced by I was going to say Buck Rogers, not Buck Rogers, Burt Reynolds.
Buck Reynolds. Buck Rogers. No, that's a TV show.
Yeah.
I would love to see that being remade properly. Buck Rogers.
Yeah. As long as they've done it correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, because a lot of remakes can be pretty dire.
Yeah. They can really mess them up, can't they?
9 times out of 10, they usually don't do a good job. So maybe you're better off getting them to remake it on or remaster it on Blu-ray or something.
Yeah.
What's original?
Yeah, that could work.
What about the later games in the Grand Theft Auto series? Like, for example, have you got the latest one?
I didn't like 4. Never really got into 4. It came out. This goes sound a bit stupid, but it came out at a really a tough time in my life.
Right.
Where a lot of things were going on, and this and that, and a bit of money problems, and so on and so forth. So I don't think I ever really got into it. Which is a bit unfair me saying I didn't like it, so I didn't really give it a chance. But San Andreas I enjoyed. That was good. And I do have Grand Theft Auto 5, even though I haven't even put it in the PlayStation yet. So, but I really look forward to that because that does look like a cracker. Some of the missions I watch on YouTube.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Actually, that is probably the quickest game I've ever completed, mainly due to that point in time. I'd been off work for 8 weeks with a broken arm, and it was getting towards the end of my recovery. Don't get me wrong, I was still in a sling, but I was able to play the Xbox or PlayStation, so I was able to sit in the last 2 weeks recovery and complete that game quite quickly.
Oh, with a broken arm as well.
With a broken arm, yes.
There's a mission on there called Convoy. Is it called Convoy?
Convoy?
Convoy.
I can't quite remember. Probably, you're probably right.
You basically, I think anyway, from what I gather, you steal a truck, and you've got a convoy of truckers behind you.
Oh, it might be one of the bank job missions. You know, the
I think it is.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. That just again, simple things that put a smile on my face. So.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where I tried not to even read watch any reviews or anything before I played it because I didn't want anything to be spoiled.
I've totally spoiled it for myself. Totally. And I couldn't help it, but I've only seen like 3 or 4 missions, so there's still an awful lot that I can watch or play through.
I tend to, my style of watching gameplay videos is I tend to watch them as I'm doing them. So if I maybe play a couple of missions of a game or a couple of races of a racing game, I'll then watch somebody's gameplay video to see how they've got on with it as well. Because I don't like things being spoiled.
No.
That's just me, because I'm weird. All right.
No, that's not weird at all. That's not weird at all.
Okay, well, we'll move on to the next one. And it's another interesting one. Obviously, it's quite a well-known one, but it's which one you picked that I'm curious about. It's FIFA 95 on the Mega Drive, which came out in July 94.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, why 95?
It was so FIFA National Soccer came out the year before. There was myself, my friend Chris, and my friend Craig, and again, sort of kind of good time in my life, where a lot of things were going right. I was young, I was healthy, and so on and so forth. And we used to get together pretty much 4 or 5 times a week and just play a World Cup on FIFA and National Soccer. And it was always tricky because I think you could only have 2 players at that time on international soccer. Then FIFA 95 came out.
Yeah.
I got my first house, and pretty much those 4 or 5 times a week turned into 7 times a week, pretty much 22 hours a day, solid FIFA 95 playing. And there was drink involved. You could play a league, and you could have 3 teams in the league. So my friend Chris would be Everton, my friend Craig would be Arsenal, I'd be Liverpool, and we would play the season. And the crunch games obviously would be when we play each other. 6 games a season. It was just brilliant. It was just brilliant. I just loved. Was it the first game? Yeah, it was the first game, or the first FIFA game that you could bring your goalkeeper out as well. I think, if I remember rightly, or was that 96?
I wouldn't be too sure myself.
No, I'm pretty sure it was 95 because you could bring your keeper out. And again, one of the fond memories that I had of FIFA 95 was just being absolute hysterics the first time I saw it, because we were playing against each other, and the ball would go to the halfway line, or the ball would go to the corner flag, and the keeper would get it, and the keeper would run with it, and then he'd do a fancy trick, and we would just be pissing ourselves, and basically it was all like glory trying to get the ball back so you could score an early goal. Mate, it's just too many little things. The crowd reactions. The noises you can make when you're celebrating, the horns, the fireworks, the whole that you could use a real team, even though they didn't have real players' names.
Yeah.
It's real teams. I think real player names came in at '96.
Right.
And it was just again probably time of my life, like everything was going right, happy, so on and so forth. Had all my mates around, had my own place, and it was just really really fond memories of '95, and I could pick it up now and just play a whole sort of like season, if I had the time and just not bat an eyelid. It's just for me that's the way. Obviously going forward, sort of, your FIFA 2014s, they're superb. I mean, again, talking about the manager games where they get too realistic with a football game, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I think that's great. So, but yeah, I mean, going back, FIFA 95 just does it for me. And yeah, you're absolutely right to sort of question it, to say, why 95 and so on and so forth. It was just probably the time that I was having the most fun with it. And like I said, I think 96, it brought out real player's name, which is a massive, massive sort of achievement at that time. To our players, the commentary I think was there as well. So yeah, it was just happy days really. So, but 95 sticks in my mind.
So essentially, it brings back memories of your youth when you kind of first get a house, first started drinking, you had all your mates round, so it's happy times.
Yeah.
That's a great reason, I must say.
Yeah. I started drinking long before that, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah. It's mine's in that same respect. The FIFA I played more with my mates was around the same age as you. It would have been a little bit later, but it's similar kind of setup. It was the kind of the guys would be around drinking beers, and mine would be FIFA 2000 on the PlayStation 1.
No, yeah, like FIFA 2000, I think you could customise your players, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that was a massive thing as well, because at that point, I don't think Bristol Rovers were in, or in the game, or there was something about it, but you could customise the shirts, customise the players, customise the names, and again, that for me, to have sort of Gashead 66 up front scoring all the goals, that is amazing. That is really good. So I would definitely sort of like sneak that in the bag if I could.
I think the first FIFA game that had the kind of lower English teams would have been, I think it was FIFA 2003. Or no, maybe it was 2004. It was definitely one of those.
2003 had Ronaldinho on the front, I think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. It might not have been. It might have been 2000. Yeah, it was 2004, in fact, because I remember it was the same year. They brought out Total Club Manager 2004 as well, and you could the team that you kind of created, you could then take it into FIFA and play a game in FIFA with your team.
That's good.
Yes, it would have been 2004. So that's Bristol Rovers' debut. It would have been 2004 in FIFA. So that would have been your opportunity to take Bristol Rovers up the leagues and up into the Premiership, if you so desired.
oh, John, I desired. All right.
It's quite good. It's kind of off topic, but just getting back to Football Manager briefly. I always intended to have a career where I would take a team all the way from the bottom to the top, but I never ever get around to doing it. But thankfully, well, not thankfully, but incidentally, my team Rangers got relegated all the way to the bottom. So I kind of have to do that.
yeah, that's heartbreaking, really, isn't it? Because it was like almost, my friend who supported Everton in, like sort of the later years when they weren't sort of challenging for the top five. He wanted to be his team, but his team could not compete with the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man United, and so on and so forth. So he would then pick Man United to have any sort of chance. So, but
They better not pick them this season.
Oh no. let's not talk about Man United. Or we can talk about Man United, but let's take the piss.
Yeah, as I said, I was asking you. Obviously, you've explained it very well. Your choice of FIFA 95, but see, I thought your reason might have been because it was the first one that had introduced leagues, like Brazil, Germany, England, Spain. I think there was 8 leagues in total in it. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, it kind of was, but you know, again, for me, I am a massive football fan.
Yeah.
See, got me out now. And you know, I will basically watch Colchester versus Oldham, Chester versus Accrington Stanley. You know, any crap that's on telly, I will watch it. However, what doesn't really do it for me is Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, or anything that I'm a weird one. I like English football. That's it. Or sort of like Man United versus Barcelona. I watch. That's fine. It's not a problem at all. Barcelona, Real Madrid, I may watch just because of the players on show.
yeah.
But really, no. For me, it's kind of English. And I've got to be honest with you. I mean, in regards to Scottish football, I watch Rangers and I watch Celtic. That's it. You know, which obviously, you know what Scottish football is like. There's only really 2 teams there, unfortunately. But
There's only one at the moment. It's not Rangers.
there is only one. Rangers are keeping up though, aren't they?
Rangers are, and now they're changing the names of all the divisions like they did in England. Essentially, we're in the 2nd division, but it's now called League One.
Well, okay.
Same as you guys down there, it's League One. So we're top of the league with undefeated so far. So we're obviously going to be up into what's called obviously the Championship next season.
Yeah.
So that's one step away from being back into the top division.
So I can just imagine if that happens to Man United over here, which would be scandalous and a shock. But for as a Bristol Rovers fan, to see Man United, you know, at Memorial Stadium playing league football would be awesome. It would be awesome. So I'm pretty sure that you know, all the sort of lower league teams were kind of willing Rangers to get relegated, but
in a sense, yes, but in another sense, not so much, because as much as they got revenue for playing against us, which was brilliant for them, they had less chance of getting promoted.
Yeah. It's pretty much a spot goal promotion, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in the 3rd division, which we were in last season, which is now League 2, it's one automatic promotion, and the next 3 teams go into a playoff against the second bottom of the division above. So,
do you know what I really like that idea? I really think they should restructure, you know, how our promotions and relegations go. I would love to see, you know, the bottom 3 in the Premiership go down or get relegated, and the 4th place or the 4th lowest play. You know, maybe sort of if 2 go out from the Championship, 1 go out via the playoffs, maybe the playoff loser or something like that. So potentially there's another slot available for that one-off game where it's basically a playoff final for. I would just like to see it restructured a little bit. So.
Yeah, it's getting a bit of a stale format, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that would ever be allowed to happen, because
I don't think it would, because there's just too much money on the line, and there really is. You know, say one of the lesser teams plays the game of their life on that particular occasion, go up, and then keep on getting hammered. Then obviously that's kind of a joke scenario, isn't it? So
the way it was in Scotland up until this season, they made a lot of changes this season, but the way it was up until this season was horrible. See the 2nd top division, as it's now called, the Championship. Basically, it was just a long half season, 36 games, and there was only one team up. There was no playoffs, no two teams up, just one team up.
That's
So
wrong.
if you've had a long hard season and you've missed it in goal difference or by a couple of points, it's gutting.
Yeah.
Gutting that you don't even get a playoff. It's just very, 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 very harsh, and I don't know why they've done it like that, but they've changed it now, thankfully. So that means if Rangers don't win the championship next season, we still may get in the playoffs.
So.
I wonder if that's why they changed it to make it easier.
Well, yeah, maybe just giving them another chance.
I could go off and talk about what happened to Rangers, but I'll not, because that could be a whole other podcast. Let's just say, in a nutshell, we were cheated and we were undeservedly relegated down the divisions. But I'll leave it at that.
You'll be back.
We've enjoyed it. Just before we move on to the last game, I know we're on probably too long on this, but just an interesting thing about FIFA 95. I don't know if you remember they introduced referees into this game.
Yeah.
And if your player received a yellow card for a foul, the referee would run up to you and give you a yellow card, but you still had control of your player, so you could run away.
That's right. Yeah. Again, the little thing. It's the little things like that. Just and you imagine that. Okay, you're playing on your own. That's amusing, but you imagine that as like you've just gone. You're on sort of 85 minutes. You're playing against your mate. You're one goal down. Their player is potentially going to get sent off, and you're just wasting time running around the pitch. That to me is just hilarious. That you could sort of like do that. So yes, yeah.
Okay, well we better move on to the next game because it's getting late. I've kept you a long time already. The last game is Super Donkey Kong on the SNES, or was it called Donkey Kong Country?
Do you know what I think it was called Donkey Kong Country, wasn't it? It wasn't Donkey Kong. Yeah, no, that's my bad then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's another game that sort of brings sort of really good memories for me. Basically, you could play 2-player game and so on. So it was just, I do find it hard to sort of explain what is good about the game because the graphics is superb, the music is stunning, the levels are beautiful. It's just a fantastic game, And then again, sort of looking back on the games of yesterday, if any games can sort of hold up to today's standards, Donkey Kong Country can as well.
Yeah, and that has its roots going all the way back to 1981, believe it or not.
Really?
According to my research.
Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Country?
No, sorry, Donkey Kong in general. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's where Super Mario. I'm telling people something they already know, but just for the sake of the flow of things, that's of course where Super Mario made his debut as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Old plumber before he made it out on his own.
That's right.
So, but I just took a note of the kind of brief plot of this game. For most people would know anyway, but basically in Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong together with his nephew and sidekick Diddy Kong must recover his stolen hoard of bananas from King K, Rool and the Kremlins. Now there's a plot and a half. They should really make a movie out of that one, shouldn't they?
You can't make that up, can you?
Well, they did.
He did, yeah, he did.
So
no, it's just an all-round great game, isn't it?
Was that, and you would have had that on the SNES, yeah?
Yeah.
So what's your fond memories? Because you must have been a young lad when that came out.
How old was I? Was it? When did it come out?
94.
94. Yeah, I mean, damn sight younger than I am now, that's for sure. But yeah, again, just kind of I think I was living at home. I think I was living with my parents at the time. I think we just moved as well, so basically moved out and then got stuck moving back. So again, it was just that was a complete one-player game for me. I did have a friend, Craig, who used to play with me, but that sounded a bit wrong, doesn't it? He played Donkey Kong with me, but it was just, it's one of those games that you would just play and enjoy and play again. So fond memories more of the game rather than sort of anything else.
Fair enough. So I don't really have much more to say on that game unless you've got something you want to add.
No. Just if you haven't played it, then what are you doing? Go out and play it.
I think everybody must have played at least one Donkey Kong game in their life span.
Yeah.
Well, that's your 8 games. Just to recap quickly: Streets of Rage 2, Fantasy Zone, Championship Manager 93, Diddy, Ton, GTA Vice City, FIFA 95, and Donkey Kong Country. 8 fantastic choices.
Thank you.
And you made it a bit easier for me this time because the last couple of guests were picked absolutely fantastic games. They were very Nintendo or RPG based, and I didn't have a lot of knowledge on them. So at least I had heard of most of your choices.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, I mean, it was very tricky. That when I put these games down, it was very much nostalgia reasons, game reasons, retro reasons, and then I went away thinking, okay, I could have picked, Final Fantasy VII. I could have picked Secret Mana. There were so many games that could have made. Road Rash would have been in there as well for player.
Of course, yeah.
There's just so many games that are out there that to pick 8, it was just incredibly hard. So
it is hard to pick 8 games, but obviously the reason that it's 8 is because that's the format of Desert Island Discs. Trying to keep it as close to that format as possible. If you're going to rip it off, you might as well rip it off properly. I'm like yourself. I could have easily sat down and picked a completely different 8 games easily.
Yeah.
And there's some games I left out, and I thought, why didn't I pick that game?
Well, that's Final Fantasy VII for me. And looking back on it, perhaps I would have removed one of them and put Final Fantasy, because again, Final Fantasy VII, that's a good sort of couple of days gaming, isn't it? So, and if the format really is you on a desert island, you want something that you can really get your teeth into. So.
Yeah, because you want to take your mind off the fact that you're stranded on a desert island.
Yeah.
Although, sorry.
Game console.
Although, having said that, I think it was Zach I was speaking to last week, but I actually suddenly realised I didn't establish why you're on a desert island in the first place. Whether it's your own choice to go there or whether you've landed there on a plane crash or something.
This is the thing. If you go and have a look at Thomas Cook's website, the desert islands of today, you would like to be stranded on them. So, but yeah, it really depends if you like shipwrecked on there and you're on your own and you got this little raft and you're in a castaway type scenario. Then it's not the best. But then to take games with you or to take books with you or to take music with you, then you've got to have some sort of power. So I'm going for the Thomas Cook side, and the islands are beautiful and
because the one thing that I'm conveniently forgetting in all this as well is that to have these 8 games, you potentially could have 8 different systems to take with you as well.
Yeah. That's a big old bag, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I said last week. I think whatever my memory's not so good, but whatever luxury item Zach had picked, I said, well, obviously you've not went there on a rowing boat. You've maybe been in a plane crash, and all the stuff's been in the cargo hold. Otherwise, I don't know how you would get it to the desert island in the first place. Anyway,
Mate, technicalities, don't worry about it. Just stick to the 8 games.
Yeah, we'll just roll with it, you know. So, as well as your 8 games, you also get to pick another couple of items. And I started doing this in the first episode, and I don't. Harry Yak found it funny, but and I don't want to say it. People say what. So, on the main show on Desert Island Disc, you get a copy of the Bible and the complete works of Shakespeare. So I changed it round to a copy. What was it? A subscription to the Retro Gaming Magazine and the complete works of Steve Benway.
I like it. Yeah, that's good. Well, that would be more reading material than the Bible for me. Unfortunately, the Bible might be used for
toilet paper.
No, I was going to say that, but I didn't want to upset anybody. And you just said it for me, so I'm just going to politely sort of say, John, how could you say such a thing? When we both know that I agree with you, yes.
You know, and I don't want to upset any people that have religious beliefs, because the way I look at it is, you believe what you believe in, and if that's what you believe, then fine, you know.
Yeah.
But personally, I've tried to read the Bible, and I just find it really boring.
You know what, John? I would love to believe in something. I really, hand on heart, I would. I just don't. And I think a belief shouldn't be thrust upon you or sort of like put in your direction. I think if you believe, then, you know, I take my hats off to you, because I would love to believe in something, but don't stand in front of me and tell me I should believe in something, because I just don't.
Yeah, don't preach.
No.
I respect everybody's rights to believe in something, and that's great. My mother-in-law is a devout Catholic. She goes to church every Sunday. No matter where she is on a Sunday, if she's not at home on a Sunday, she'll find her church somewhere else. She goes to church every single week, and good luck to her if that's what she believes in.
Yeah.
I've no problem with that. Anyway, we better go off religion quickly and move on to your book. Now, I have to confess, I was so caught up on doing the research on the games, I've not done any research on the book, so you're going to have to tell me and the listeners what it's all about. And the book's called Northern Lights.
I'm really going to upset you here. The reason I'm taking Northern Lights is because I read it years and years ago. I loved it. I don't remember a sausage about it. If I'm totally honest with you. The film is The Golden Compass. That came out a couple of years ago with Nicole Kidman in it.
Right.
It's kind of fantasy book. There's 3 books. There's Northern Lights, something about the hourglass, and something about a knife. But the reason I'm taking, see, you've got me on the hook here a little bit, because the reason I'm taking it is because I remember reading it. I remember really enjoying the book, and I want to read it again. So that's why I'm taking on Desert Island with me, not because I know everything about it.
So I'm disappointed to learn that it's not in relation to the Northern Lights of Old Aberdeen.
No. Unfortunately, me and my wife have been watching stargazing the last couple of nights on BBC Two, and they've kind of featured the Northern Lights there, and yeah, they're fantastic. I mean, they're a real sort of anomaly, aren't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's got nothing to do with that at all.
Well, thankfully, I'm the kind of professional host who always thinks on his feet, and I have some information on it at my fingertips as we speak. So, it was written by an author called Philip Pullman.
Yeah.
And it was published in July 1995. And it was preceded by a book called Once Upon a Time in the North. Don't know if you read that one. And it was followed by The Subtle Knife.
Yeah.
And you're right enough. It was. There was a film based on it called The Golden Compass.
Yeah, and the film was crap. The film was really disappointing. I remember it. I remember quite well. I went to the cinema to see it. And again, I can't really remember too much about the film, even though there was a giant polar bear who Mr. Come on, John, help me out.
You lost me there.
What great character, but yeah, now I'm kind of sort of like fading a little bit now. So, but yeah, it was a real good read. I did read. What was the second one? The something nice.
The subtle knife.
So I read half that, but it's a different story. But I think in the third one they all sort of collaborate together. But yeah, I just remember it being great. I just remember it being a really good book. A really good book that I can't remember jack shit about.
Okay, well, a quick synopsis for those of us that don't know, which is, well, most of us really. It's set in a world dominated by a theocratic, don't know if I'm saying that word right, international organisation called the Magisterium, also commonly called the Church, which actively suppresses hearsay. I'm a terrible reader. In this world, humans' individual souls naturally exist outside of their bodies in the form of sentient demons, animal spiritual beings that constantly accompany, aid and comfort their humans. Children's demons can willfully and instantaneously change their appearance into that of any animal. Once they reach puberty, however, all people's demons settle into one permanent animal form. So, sounds fascinating. That's a good plot.
I've told it to everybody already, and I do remember with the animals, it's kind of the children's right arm, and I think as they grow older they get separated, and it's kind of a battle between sort of it's literally like losing half of yourself or losing a quarter of yourself.
Yeah.
Where they're that connected to it. It is a really fascinating book. I just think that something went askew with the film. If I remember rightly, they done it okay. But I think with a book like Northern Lights, your imagination is so much more powerful than actually the visualization of it, where you're imagining one thing, where the film is showing you, no, it's not. It's just a little animal. Where you're thinking to yourself, okay, it's part of that child, or but it's in an animal form, and reading the book, it sounds like better than seeing the film.
It's funny we should have been talking about religion beforehand, because it sounds as if it's got a bit of religious. It
was very much. It was very much like the all powering group that kind of want to assimilate everybody into their way of thinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, talking about the church, and I'm talking about assimilating people.
Okay, well, we'll quickly move on to the next item, because I'm actually just aware that we've got 8 minutes left before the stream ends.
Okay.
I will know a bit. I don't think I need much into your luxury item. It's the Rocky box set.
do you know what? If I'd have sat down and thought about it, obviously this was kind of the last minute thing, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was just done very last minute last week, which again I appreciate.
Don't get me wrong. The Rocky box set would definitely come with me, but obviously a luxury item could have been, anything. Could have been a bath, or so something like something like an iPad, with the internet. I might have chose that over the Rocky box set, but what can I say about Rocky? I mean, everybody knows about Rocky, and really, if you haven't seen it, then get a life.
Where have you been? Where have you been if you've not seen the Rocky? Honestly,
for the last 30 odd years. So, and ironically, so talking about the Rocky box set, I watched Grudge Match, which has got Sylvester Stallone and Robert De Niro this afternoon, and very, very entertaining. Basically, they're like a couple of old codgers, 60 years old, and they come out of retirement because basically the two fights that they had, Robert De Niro won the first one after 15 rounds. Sylvester Stallone won the second one after 4 rounds. And the third, the grudge match, was all prepped and all like put in place.
Yeah.
And then Sylvester Stallone pulls out for medical reasons, and another reason which I won't say because it would spoil the film.
Of course.
But basically, the years have gone on. Robert De Niro still held a grudge that Sylvester Stallone pulled out, and then some promoter comes in and says, "Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll give you X amount if you get this fight on," type thing. So,
Yeah.
but it's very entertaining, very well done. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's very comical at points because I guess it has to be. You can't really take it too seriously. But it does a really good job of sort of like keeping it serious as well. So, yeah. So, but yeah, the Rocky Boxer, Uplifting. Great films, every single one of them. So,
Yeah, I was that film you were just speaking about there, the one with Sylvester Stallone and Robert De Niro. Is that just out in the cinema or is it a DVD?
Yes, it comes out on the 24th of January, so it is not out yet. You nudge, wink, wink. However, I'm not saying any more about that.
Say no more.
Yeah, nudge, wink, wink.
So this, sorry.
No, go on, sorry.
So this Rocky box set, would that also include the Rocky Balboa film, the latest one that came out? Is that in there?
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoyed Rocky Balboa. Rocky 5 could have got lost on the boat, definitely. But Rocky Balboa would definitely be there. I really, really enjoyed that. But again, that was really well done. Where a lot of changes in his life. He still had sort of demons as such, and he wanted to prove to everybody that he's still sort of like he was still there and still standing at the end. So fantastic film. I thought.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, presumably you won't need to take a DVD player with you because you can just play that on your PlayStation 2 that you've got for Grand Theft Auto Vice City, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we're going to start thinking about wrapping up. Those were all brilliant choices, and thanks again, Stephen, for coming on. Especially last week, you were going to go on last minute, and it all went kind of Pete Tong, as we say. So it was great to finally get you on.
Thanks.
Just before we go, is there anything you want to kind of say about your own channel? Have you got anything coming up that we need to know about?
No, not really. I've got a couple of series that are kind of in the pipeline. Like everybody, I've got big plans for 2014. I've got a book for Christmas which is based on 1,001 games to play before you die.
Right.
And I was hoping to do sort of a couple of series or a couple of episodes on that. How that's going to pan out, I really don't know. But no. People that know me, obviously, they know what my channel's about. People that don't, obviously, go and check it out, please. And if you like it, maybe subscribe. I don't know. And
I think, let me see if I've got this correct. It's www.youtube.com/users/Gashead66.
Thank you very much.
Yep. And also check out retrounlim.com and the Retro Unlim Network. You can download all these podcasts now on iTunes, which is fantastic. So you can listen to us on your way into work if you want. I was actually listening to some of Michael's shows, Michael Burnham's shows on the way into work this morning. I was listening to the one from the weekend, the Zelda special, and I was also listening to some of the earlier ones. I wasn't that long a journey. I was kind of skipping between them, but I was listening to some of the kind of earlier stuff because the I Got Gameplay has been going on for I don't know if it's 2 years. It's between a year and a half and 2 years. So yeah, that's going good guns. So definitely check I Got Gameplay out as well. And I think we'll call it a day there, Stephen. So again, thanks very much, and speak to you soon.
Cheers, John.
Right. Right.